New Aer gear. Here we go. Hey, I'm Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the Aer Pro Sling that I've been testing over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you content to help you travel smarter. Let's jump in. All right, so we have a new fabric from Aer here. It's an 840D Recore Cordura nylon that's Blue Sign approved. Typically they're going with a 1680D ballistic nylon, but this is a little bit slicker, a little bit lower of a denier. Overall on the team, we really like it. It's still structured, but it's got a little bit more of a lightweight feel. So we're all big fans of it on the team, which I really dig. Also a new Aer logo up here. Well, the same Aer logo, but it's just kind of this rubber. So that's new. They haven't done that in the past. Typically they treat their logo a little bit differently on their bags. And then we have a hook here if you want to hang the bag up. I've seen this on a previous sling from Aer. I really like, I think it's the Day Sling 3 that has it. I really like using a small or a mini hero clip here to hang it on the side of the desk or table or wherever I am. Also, what's great about it is it stands up on its own. It's got a triangular shape here, so you have more room on the bottom, bigger depth here, and it's skinnier on top, so it's really easy to stand on its own. That's nice if you want to set this thing on a table. It's handy if it's in pouch mode too. So these are removable, which I'll get to in a second, but that is a great little thing too, because it can stand up on its own. We have number 8 YKK zippers. For once, they aren't AquaGuard, which is interesting. Aer is always using AquaGuard zippers. I feel like it's a part of their branding at some point. There's usually like a AquaGuard zipper going up right at the front here, but still sturdy YKK zippers with nice paracord zipper pulls, and they don't jingle too much either. Moving on to the strap here, this feels a little bit unsolved to me. It's not that usual like wow and slickness that I'm used to seeing with Aer. You just have 2 nylon loops up here in the corners, which are nicely anchored here, and they're diagonal. So they are a comfortable fit, at least when I'm wearing it on my body. I really like the fit, but just having like a gatekeeper attached here is not what I'm used to seeing from Aer. It feels a little bit slapped on. I'm used to seeing like some clever gusseting or something's hidden here, or the strap is integrated in a different way. But the strap itself is relatively comfortable. It's soft to the touch, it's skinny. I feel like it's the right width for a sling. You don't really need it too much thicker. You don't need padding for something this small. Eric would probably carry a camera kit in here, our staff writer. Maybe you want a little more padding in that case, but if it's like a small point and shoot or even just a small mirrorless body and a lens, I don't think you need anything much thicker than this. And then we have a Duraflex buckle here, no magnetic fidlock this time, so that's gonna stay fastened a little bit more. I know some of the complaints on the Day Sling 3 was that the fidlock disengaged, but they've corrected that here with just a plastic buckle here. And then there's like this D-ring for quick release. The strap, it's okay to me. Again, it feels like it's just a little bit unsolved, but I do like this quick release. It does work really well if you're flipping the bag from back to front and you want to adjust it, the height of it and where it's sitting on your body. It works really well for that. Okay, so here I have the sling relatively tight against my back. It's comfortable, I dig it. And if I flip it around, I typically don't like wearing the sling, on my front this high unless I'm like going through airport security or like in a tight market or something walking around. That's when I like it a little bit tighter up here. But this D-ring is really nice because you can very quickly loosen it up and bring it down next to your body. So I've got that down here now. I like to have it just on my hip typically because I can, keep walking, and it stays in place really well for me as well. We have one secondary compartment on this thing. That's this kind of hidden compartment in the back. We have some paracord with heat shrink right here. You'll see that's a little bit different than this paracord here. And I think that's because this is against your body, so they want something a little bit more low profile. I think that makes a lot of sense. We open this up and there's ample space back here. I've got a passport wallet in the back. If you have like a notebook, smaller, flatter items work well. This is a little bit thick to have back there. I wouldn't go, much thicker than this in terms of the items that I put inside, but it fits relatively well in there. And if this thing's against my body, that's a very secure pocket because the zipper is pretty low as well. So it's hard to get into unless you want to get into it as the wearer. All right, so let's get on the inside of this thing. First, I want to talk about just the niceness of having two zippers here, so I can kind of get into this wherever I want. You know, I don't have to open this all the way from the bottom, because if it was just one, you'd have to open it right here and then just get access that way. But here you can kind of peek inside, whether it's there, maybe you're wearing it, you know, like I had it earlier, diagonal on my body, you can kind of peek in here. So I dig having two zippers. But let's open it way up. You can see this top flap kind of flaps down quite a bit. This top mesh pocket is relatively soft. I've just got some sunglasses up here on the top. Looks like they fell out of the case there, which is a little bit annoying, but I don't think that has anything to do with the sling more than the case for these sunglasses. But you could just put your sunglasses right in here. It's very soft mesh. That's how they have it on the product photos on the website. It stays out of the crush zone because it's high up. So that's a nice thing to consider. And then you can really fold this down and get access to what's, you know, in the bottom here as well. Probably a little bit more useful in pouch mode when you can set this down on a desk, or even in sling mode when you set this down on the table. However, when you're wearing it, you probably don't want it like flapped this far open. But I'll just show you what I have inside. I have like a banana here at the top, buff and gloves down here at the bottom, and then just some other items down here. Some Korean cough medicine that I got, and like a little Tom Bin ghost whale pouch. Now all that was at the bottom, and one thing that I don't love about this is just how skinny and tall it is, and then at the top, like it's a little more closed off. So I typically liked the previous Aer version where they had like two mesh dividers like up front here versus a sunglasses pocket, because I feel like I can kind of get items lost down at the bottom. But that's just me. I'm oftentimes carrying a lot of smaller, like travel optimized items. You know, like these gloves and this buff are smaller than like your average scarf and your average pair of gloves. Or if you have like camera carry, you know, you have a little bit more space for that. So for me, I don't love it, but for you, it's gonna be up to what you're carrying and your preference. And then moving back, we have two liner pockets here. I love these liner pockets. I kind of wish I had two more in the front, but this is really how I stay organized, and I love it because I know exactly where everything is. When it's in the main compartment, it kind of gets jostled around, but here, you know, I'm like left side, I've got like my chapstick, and then my Peak Design mobile tripod for my phone. The right side, I've got my wallets, and then just like a couple of other items down here. And what's cool about that is like I just know exactly where everything is, and I really, really like that for a sling. Personally, a little bit harder to do with two stretchy mesh pockets versus four on like something like the Aer Sling 3, but I still think it's a great use of space. Now this is kind of bowing out a little bit, and I want to show you what I have inside of this zippered pocket here. This is really good for just smaller items that might become loose and might fall out of the main compartment. This is where I put all my smaller items. So I've got my keys here. This key strap is just plastic. Pretty good. I mean, this is what we've seen on a lot of Aer's previous releases, so nothing new there. Now your keys, typically Aer has their keys inside of this front pocket, and it's always been weird because it's been like a sunglasses pocket and a keys pocket, but now you need to go down 2 levels of zipper to get your pockets out if you want to utilize this key leash. So that's something to note. It's not quite as fast, and then the leash isn't super long either, so if you want to wear this sling you know, while you're opening your door, and because it's inside, you might need to like do some bending around to open your door up with a key. So that's just something to note, just a minor gripe, nothing too crazy. Then I just have some smaller items here that I just don't want jostling around in the main compartment. So again, I know exactly where they are. Just put these back here. And then there's a little slot back here. I've just got like a mask back there because we still, you know, use them when traveling often, depending on the countries that you're going to. And then if you wanted like a field notes or something back here, you can. Now because this is so tall and so skinny, a lot of that stuff is just like falling to the bottom, and it's kind of like stacking up and bowing this out a little bit. So, you know, the sunglasses are up here at the top, but everything else kind of like jams together decently inside of this sling. It's Tom from the future. I wanted to mention this is so tall and skinny to accommodate devices, especially this device sleeve in the back. So this is a Kindle. It's 8 inches from corner to corner here. I want to show you how that fits. Room to spare, so you can fit a larger tablet in there for sure. And then, since I know a lot of people ask, you can fit a Nintendo Switch in here as well. It's a little bit thick, and that joystick kind of gets in the way, but it does fit in this back slot. And then it fits super easily inside of the main compartment. So that's the main reason why it's tall and skinny, so it can hold those devices. So there you have it, the Aer Pro Sling. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. See you in the next video.